Hello again, Internet. What you're looking at here is a tube mount. So there's a glass tube that produces the laser beam in my laser cutter, and this is one of the mounts. I have two of these that are holding the current tube in place. And I designed this kind of quickly out of desperation because it was the only way to get the tube in there. Um, but now I'm replacing the tube, and I don't want to go through the whole calibration nightmare that this presented me. So I'm going to redesign this. And so basically how this works is obviously tube goes through the center, and then this is up against a flat wall, which makes adjusting this dial impossible, which makes adjusting the height impossible unless you slide it out. Then you lose home, or you lose the center, so you're constantly fighting back and forth. So did some looking, came up with some ideas. I might skip most of that and try to make it relatively easy to print. So first thing I want to adjust is right now the screws that are holding these in place are like right there, maybe like half a millimeter off. So all this adjustment is kind of wasted. So I'm thinking I'm gonna start putting a center point slot, and I'll just expand out, and I won't bother making another one. I'll just do it as a pattern. Do a coincident there, set its size, do a parallel there, and then I just have to decide how much more travel I'm gonna get out of this, which I don't need much. I technically maybe don't even need any, but if I can give myself even just say an extra 5, and I'll fill that back in there for 5. So I'm gonna do a linear pattern of 2 by 2 and make sure I'm going in the right direction with them. And I'll space them out a little bit just to easier to work with. Okay, I'm gonna do a concentric and a concentric, and not sure what it wants me to do to make these right. So that's locked down, that's locked down. This is just a slot. Horizontal? Nope. What in the world? Let's try this one. Nope. And that's got a concentric also on it. Alright. Something's weird there. So I'm just going to do Control Z and just undo that pattern and do this manually because I'm not sure why that was doing that. And I don't really want to investigate right now. I want to make a part. So make these all parallel and equal. And grab these, make these all equal. Everything's black. Extrude cut through all on this. And I moved my center by 5 millimeters, which I'm going to go back before that actually and draw this in. So let's see. Basically, I got something like this. I hope I didn't just get midpoint. All right. Convert this, and these are going to be equal. And I'll do a tangent there. And then I'll just do a dimension of 5 millimeters. And I can take a line, do another line, select this chain, and I'll do a pattern of 2 by 2. Hopefully this time it works a little bit better. Concentric. Make this concentric. Everything's black. Good deal. All right, so I moved the holes to where they should be. So that's good. This basically has to stay the same. I think I'm gonna make some modifications to these faces, but for the most part, this stays the same. Let's see. These dials things here, these are going away. And let's see, what is this? It's M5 nut or M6, I'm not entirely sure. But it's going away too. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these uprights as well. So what I'll do is I'll convert entities and select all our loops. And then I'll just select what I don't want out of there. And I'll delete it. And then I'm going to do an extruded cut through all going this way. And there we go. And then I've got some parts that are already open. So let's insert a part. It's going to be just M5 nut. I'm going to insert another part. And this will be basically just some screws I found. I found 4 of them. I needed 4. I said that is perfect. So let's see. If I move this, and do a coincident there. All right, so that doesn't even scrape, so I don't even need to modify this one at all. And at the bottom, let's say insert part, and we want the M5 nut. And just lock this down here. Make that parallel. And then I can just make another one of those real easily by mirroring it. All right. So as it is, that screw is too long, but that's not a big deal because I can always add nuts to it. But let me just double check that the nuts are right. So I will insert one more. Make sure that they fit here. And one more line. All right, so now instead of a head, I've got a stack of nuts underneath the head. They still have room to turn. And these have room to turn. And then what they're turning in is this. So let's copy this body. And it went somewhere that I don't know where it is. So I'll start by doing a mate down there. and need to think about this. Actually, I'm going to mate to this. And then I'm going to do a dimension going the other way. So it's coming up. So basically, I don't want to use the first 4 millimeters of the screw at all. And then the actual thickness of the thing is, oh, darn it. So the actual thickness is 3 millimeters. So 3 millimeters. And say 4 millimeters for the end of the screw. And then I also need some adjustment in there. So let's see, if I want it to move up and down a total of 8 millimeters. And let's do a concentric here. All right, so that's still relatively clear. So that works. I do a move copy bodies, and I'm going to select this entire stack. And I'll just go like that and copy it. Then I can select what I just made. Do the other kind of move copy bodies, where I can go, those are coincident, those are coincident, and this is concentric. So now I've got those all in place so I can work around them. And another thing that I've ran into is that it's really hard to get tools to tighten these down. So I'm thinking of using a Hex Head Bolt to try to work around that problem by basically making it into this adapter thing. I'm probably not explaining that very well, but that's okay. I'll just show you. So I'm gonna grab that. Actually, I will do a slot. All right, so this is the area that the thumb wheel is going to be in. And I can control it by first of all saying that I want it to be at least, for comfort's sake, I'm going to make it 5 millimeters out from the edge of the plastic. So if it's all the way slid forward, it's here. If it's all the way slid back, it's there. Otherwise, it's somewhere in between. And I'm going to do that multiple times. One more. So make these equal. And that does it. All right. Then I want to cut. And I want to be 4 millimeters from this bottom. All right, so that's where they can be. It looks like I cut into this kind of safety channel that I had there, which I'm wondering if I need any of up here anyway, because any strength I get from these is kind of lost right here. Any strength I get this way isn't even really necessary. You know, I might not actually need those at all. Let me just delete that. Let's keep the sketch. And offset from the surface here is 4. And only apply to that. Alright, so now that's the thickness I wanted it to be in the first place. And could probably fill that in too, but it's fine how it is. And then I need some thumb wheels. So I say it's equal with that. And coincident there. Just for a starting point. Gonna insert a part, which is this hex cap screw. And let's see, this will be parallel with that. And see if we can get the center point. Will be concentric with that. And I wonder if I just, okay, so I did use the old one, that's fine. Let's show this again. It was showing, it's just, there it is, okay. And let's move copy bodies and say I want this to be concentric with that, and I want this to be 3 millimeters should be strong enough for the safety. 3 millimeters away, and I'll just make this parallel. Alright, move the sketch down and edit it. So I've got that, and I've got this. So let's say up to the bottom of it, and I don't want to merge. And then I'll sketch on here, convert, and up to here, and I want to merge with that. And then I'm not entirely sure what I want, how I want to deal with the heads. I'm thinking that there'll probably be pretty much a press fit with some super glue on top of that. I don't want them to go too high because then they could be in the way of a tube. Right now they're just barely clearing on the outside. Oops. So yeah, I'm going to keep that basic shape and get some stuff out of the way here. Hide that. Just want this basic shape. And I'll normal to it. And I want it to be actually turnable by fingers. So got to make kind of a pattern. Call this vertical. Just lock this in. And so that would be a cut, which means I'd have another one. Let's tangent there. And make those equal. Make these equal and tangent. And let's see. So it'd be a cut. Nope, it's not how I want it. Let's try this. So we got a cut, and then not a cut. Alright, I think that will work. So let's hide all these. And I'll just throw 3 new circles on there, do concentrics with them. So I want to cut on them and not mess with the geometry that's supporting it all. And let's see, then we need something like that. It's tangent and tangent. And that way I can can trim this away. I can trim this away. Trim that away. Is that what I want to cut, though? That's not what I want to cut. Let's go back, try again. So I want to cut this, I want to cut that. This is just kind of a mess. All right, so that plan, scrap that plan. Let's see if we go tangent and tangent. Then we've got that. We convert this, so we've got everything in there. Go equal. So I'm cutting this, and then I'm going to cut this. And then this one will be right on the edge. And it's going to be equal. It's going to be tangent. So I'm cutting, not cutting, cutting and cutting. So that works, I think. I do a linear or circular pattern around here. And this is all, all just kind of experimental, see what works. So 12 is approximately right, so I will work with 12. And I'll just do a couple things to lock down here. All right, that won't work. Try this. That isn't right at all. All right. All right. Before I make any changes here, start with doing the coincident. That locks it down. Remove the 4, and I'm gonna make these concentric. See if that locks it down. That did. All right. Make it all for construction. And I'll grab all the inner ones. And let's see. Grab these. It's probably the messiest way of doing this imaginable, but I'm half done doing it, so I'll finish, I guess. All right. So SolidWorks doesn't know what to cut right now because it's got all this crossing stuff, so I will just tell it. And I want to cut all these every other circle ones. And I want to cut the little connectors. And yes, I probably could have drawn this out so it would just know what I'm doing, but that would have been extra steps. And I think I got them all. Oh, one more. And did I grab? I must have grabbed that circle by accident. Can I ungrab it? Maybe not. Let's see, region, region, region. Contour. All right, so got all those. I'm gonna do a through all on this body. All right, so that'll work. Show everything. The actual screws I have, I'm going to use are going to be shorter than this, obviously, but that's just what I grabbed from the file. So what I'm doing now is I'm setting up just some points and kind of making them in a pattern so that I can make copies of what I just made, just so I can see it and make sure it's not interfering with anything. Alright, so we've got those. So once we got those, I'm going to take this and this as well. And I'm going to go to do this sketch-driven pattern. And the sketch I want is the one I just made. And I want to use this point here. And it's those bodies. Alright, so those are in place. One little issue with that sketch-driven pattern is that it makes a copy of the first one as well. So I'll just delete that and hide this sketch. Alright, so that's how it locks down. Slides relatively easily. I should be able to get my finger in there to turn it. And let's see, I need something to hold these. And also, I've got this little adapter. The new tube is only a 65 millimeters, whereas the old tube is 80 millimeter diameter. And I might go back to an 80 at some point, so I want to keep support for that. So I've got a little set of little rubber adapters to adapt them, and I want to make sure that these are wide enough to hold those adapters. And they are just sort of kind of wide enough. So adapters are, well, they're rubber, but they're about 20.25 wide. So I need these to be 20.25 wide, and then on top of that, I'm tempted to put like a lip on them, but at the same time, that's just going to make 3D printing them harder. Suppose I could put the lip only on the one side, like lip here and then a lip here. That might sort of help, maybe. No, I think I'll just let it be. So I'm going to convert this, and I'm just going to go out by an extra 0.5. So I want to make the total width an extra millimeter. And then I can just go up to this surface. Scroll down here. I'm going to just reuse this sketch. And I will reuse this sketch as well. Nope, not with the revolve though, with the boss. Alright, so those are wide enough now. The little pit is still wide enough. So I can slide in and out and tighten these up and untighten them relatively easily. So then I need something to support this, which has to stop before these. Has to stop at least 8 millimeters before those, I think. But that's over 12, so we're okay there. So let's see. Might as well start with a rectangle. And just so I can get something to constrain that to, I'll just convert that. Say it's concentric. Let's see. Want to say ideally 4 millimeters around this. I can get even more than that. And go this way as well. Alright. And I'm going to extrude up by 4. And look pretty good there. So I don't want to merge this. And right away I already want to modify that, because I've got the screw. Let's see, this is M5, I believe. Yeah. Alright. So make a 5.1 hole in the middle of that, just so it can go through. And then I convert this, and put line here over to there, line here over to there. Make these for construction. And that way, I've kind of got a path here. I'm not completely closing it in. Alright, so that would be like a nice tight press fit. I don't want a super press fit. So I'm going to say offset, but it's only going to be by a tiny bit. And merge with that. And then let's sketch here and say copy that, and I can basically go all the way down now. It's a surface, and I want to merge that. All right. So then I need another one on the opposite side. And let's see. Just do move copy bodies. And copy it. I'll do another move copy bodies. This time I want to use constraints. So this will be with the bottom. And this will be parallel the other way. And this will be concentric. All right, looks good. Let's see. Ideally, I would like to cut this back a little bit, and I can actually kind of get away with it because this isn't actually really providing much support right there. So since I moved 5 in, let me see what happens if I try to cut 5 in. Alright, so that cuts quite a bit off. I can always undo this if I don't like what I get. Alright, so that does work, but then we have to cut these down too. And say, put another line in there, make it parallel. Make this tangent. And how much distance do we have right now? We have 6, which is way more than we actually need. I think 4 is enough. So cut those 2 down. It's still sticking out more. That's okay. Say I move this below here and edit this sketch. Instead of use this dimension, I just use this coincident. How much do I cut off then? Probably not very much, 2 millimeters. Alright, well, it's a lot of work for 2 millimeters, but it does give me a little bit more space to play with, so that's worthwhile. Gonna need to fix those corners. So I will just convert, and actually I'll just make a couple of circles. This will be another sloppy feature, but it'll work. So I'm going to grab this, and this, make them all equal. Do an extruded cut, going through all, and then just select what I want to cut off. All right, those are solved. I want this, and this all to be one piece. And could add some strengthening in there. That wouldn't hurt things. So let's hide this and hide this. And let's see, if I go to here, get this sketch back. And yeah, I have to curve in a little bit, but not too much. And I can't quite go all the way out that way, but that's fine too. Let me just do sketch here to get an idea of what I can get away with using. So probably something like that. And something like this. So those are going to be equal. These are going to be parallel and equal, and also parallel. And put a dimension in here. Just give me a millimeter of clearance. And millimeter over here. Right there, 1 millimeter. And how high is this? 18. So give you a little bit more. Make it equal. And let's see. If I offset this, just that, by 1. Let's say this is for construction, but it's tangent here. That space is all defined. And then it's going to be tangent. No, wait, I want to offset this and make that tangent. And I will offset this as well. Make this tangent too. I think I need it as normal to this sketch. All right. This will be perpendicular. And we convert. Looks like that's already in there, so do my power trim twice if it'll let me without turning things blue. That's blue, but I can fix that real quick. All right. Convert that. And just draw in a random line. It's going to be for construction, horizontal. Just make it equal to random thing. Select this chain. All right. Or select it manually, maybe. And I want a mirror around that. And I can just do a concentric here to lock it down. And I do kind of the same thing over here. So I'll make that perpendicular equal and for construction. And I will just, let's see if I can select chain on this. Alright, so that didn't do what I wanted. Select chain on that. Select chain on this. Say I want to mirror around that. And concentric there. Okay, so they're not going to be mirrors of each other that way. That's fine. Actually, this doesn't even come all the way out, does it? So I could probably cut this down, except I'd have even less support for this. That would be fine, actually, I think. Alright, it's just a guide sketch. We're not going to use it quite yet. Let's say I sketch on here. I convert entities, and I select all this. Say I want to do a linear pattern. It's going that way. Fine. And I'm going to do a coincident or a collinear there. Do an extruded cut through all using this region. And then that's cut down to match. And I want to go normal to that sketch. But I can't seem to get to it. Let's sketch on there. So these is going to have to come in, over, out. Select this chain, and this time I'm just going to offset it by 1 right away. Select do the whole thing, just make it all for construction. So these are going to be parallel and equal. This is going to be 18. These will be equal. This will be tangent. Maybe it won't be. Let's try making that tangent. Or collinear. Make this collinear. Alright, so yeah, that's already really close anyway. Just make it a relatively tight cut in then. And that's locked down. Alright, so then I go on here, kind of draw in a triangle. That parallel. And do a coincident there. Oh, I want a coincident, not a pierce. And yeah, might as well do one over here as well. Yeah, I missed that. So let's make this collinear, or let's make this parallel and equal. And I will extrude up to the other side. I don't want to merge. Because I'm going to sketch on here. I'm going to say grab this and say convert it. And delete this bit, delete this bit. So sketch in a line there. So right now if I extruded, I get that. But I don't want to. I want to convert this whole thing here. Do an extrude cut. It's through all. Alright, why is it? Oh, okay. I converted something intersecting. That's fine. Let's make a circle instead. So through all, and I want to apply to this and this. So now they got their shapes. And I'm not even sure I need it necessarily side to side, but you know, it couldn't hurt, right? So I still need to keep that. Don't need this anymore, I don't think. No, I do need that still. Just seeing if I can close anything up, but not yet. So convert that. Let's say, I don't even know if I did an equivalent to this over there. All right, well, I will go up to here and I can just cut it down later. And I guess that's the same thing I'm going to do right here, actually. So I'm going to go up to here, don't want to merge. And then I'm going to reuse that sketch. Starting from here this time, going up to here, again, don't merge. All right, sketch on here. I want this chain to convert it, and I'll delete what I don't need about it. Select this chain and convert it. And do a 200 again. On these two blocks I just made. All right. I'm not even sure I want that much on there. I think I want to trim down even a little bit more. So, actually, I don't even have to draw it. Or maybe I do have to draw it. All right, just so I don't hit my fingers on the kind of sharp, hard edge. Not, it's plastic, but still. All right. Then we need to draw in this one as well. So let's sketch on there. And we have to actually start cutting in real early. That's all right though. So let's make that vertical. Select this chain. I want to offset it by 1. So make that for construction and tangent. Make this for construction and tangent. And so we want there to there to there. And then I can control how I want this to be. Let's just say it's a 50. And then I want to round the corners if I can. Use this. Not use this. So make U tangent, make U tangent, and one more tangent. So I've got a full way round. Grab these, make them for construction, and draw new lines. And then I need the same thing over there. Actually, I can just draw it in again. That, and then it comes back up and over and over. This is going to be collinear. It's going to be tangent and tangent and tangent. Let's see. It's going to be 50 degrees. can make those equal as well. So that's fully defined. Good deal. And just draw in a big circle to cut everything else. And I'll cut it out. Got that shape. And then I just need a slope to those. And yeah, that's not ideal either. Alright, it's alright. Just keep hacking on it till it looks right. These collinear and equal. And if I grab right there, I can convert that perpendicular edge, if you want to call it that. Alright, so that is how I want them to taper down. Then I can do extruded cut. It goes through all. And it applies to this, 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 and this. Alright, so this basically seems to work there. That looks good too. This is less good. Alright, so this sketch, if I get rid of a tangent, get rid of this coincident, get rid of that coincident, because I want to actually be backed up quite a bit, so that I could be tangent with that. And yeah, I guess this can be coincident, just to lock it all down. And get rid of this tangent. There. Just make these two equal. And let's see how that comes out. Alright, that looks good to me. Cuts this one down a little bit earlier than absolutely necessary, but that's okay. Actually, it's not okay. I just need to change that this doesn't affect all of these. Just want it to affect the first ones. And then I could do a different one over here. And I will make these collinear and equal. Do an intersection or projection or whatever this is called. Coincident. Make my big cutting circle. So go through all, cut off those. All right. So now I can combine all these bits. And let's see if I can get away with putting a couple of fillets in. I will, just so it's less janky, and also, in theory, it makes it a little bit stronger instead of these hard edges. And got that guy. Let's see if I did the whole edge, I wonder. Yeah, I can only do so much at once sometimes. And that, nope, I can't even do that. All right, so I'll skip this and skip this as well. There we go. Good enough. And then I can try it again. Still not sure it'll let me get away with it, but we can try it. All right, got that side done. All right, it's not going to do that side. All right, why will you not? Put that there and there. And then it gets confused when I do that. Sometimes you can get it back just by clicking more and more edges, but I don't think it's going to do that. All right. Let's see, I can at least do the initial ones. And then see if it'll let me do the side ones. Probably not. All right. Well, I'm fine with that actually, I think. If I can't have one of them, that's all right. Draw these in manually without the tangent propagation. We'll see if it helps at all. And fill it again. Yeah, it just does not want to fill it that at all. Any of that. All right, that's fine. All right, so we got that base plate looking halfway decent. And let me hide some sketches, get them out of the way. All right. So now, I believe this is the outside. This is the inside. Or wait, no. This is the inside. So the tube goes in there. You can slide around back and forth on those. And then I can just adjust its height by using a screwdriver from the top, which is open. All right. So that is set. All I need to do now is need to offset some circles or some holes because my 3D printer always prints them too small. And I need to export some STLs and slice them and send them to my printer. But yeah, the design portion's done, so I'm going to call it a video. So if you stuck around this long, thank you. And see you in the next video.